Hi guys, I'm Suzy and welcome to this adulting thing. Welcome back to my channel all about the trials and tribulations of adulthood. Today we are going to be talking about self-employment. Now, if you're new to my channel and you don't really know too much about me, essentially my background was in marketing. I decided to quit my job and become self-employed, and I'm now a personal trainer and a freelance marketer as well. Taking the decision to quit a full-time, stable, secure job to become self-employed was not an easy one. And there are some things that I wish I'd known before I did it. So this video today is essentially me telling you 4 things that I wish I'd have known before becoming self-employed. And then if you're maybe thinking about taking the leap and setting up your own business or following your side hustle, hopefully this will be helpful. Right, let's get into it. The first thing no one told me about becoming self-employed is how hard it can be to motivate yourself to do things. When you work in a full-time job or in a team, you have people there in the same position as you to chat to bounce ideas off, to motivate you, and when you become self-employed, none of that is a thing. Ultimately, you are relying on yourself to be your own cheerleader. You have to motivate yourself to do the rubbish tasks that you don't want to do. You have to motivate yourself to get up early and get things done. And a lot of the time it can be fine, but at the same time, we are only human. And sometimes there are days where you're just really not feeling it and you really don't want to do it. When you stand alone as a self-employed person, all of the pressure is on you. You have to generate your income. You have to do all the work. You have to motivate yourself on the days that you really don't want to. And that is hard and it's emotionally draining and it can take a lot out of you. Sometimes I had to literally set a new wallpaper on my phone, which was some kind of positive motivational quote, because sometimes I just didn't have the motivation to do it. I was tired, I was stressed, and it was really hard to rely on myself to bring that energy all the time. At the end of the day, you just have to realise there will be days where you are tired, there will be days where you can't be bothered, and that's okay. As long as you maintain that consistency, it's better than having crazy productivity, zero productivity, crazy productivity, etc. Keeping it on a level and just doing little bits every day and keeping yourself organised is what makes the biggest difference. And you won't always feel motivated, you just won't, but that is where the discipline comes into it. And sometimes you just have to give yourself a shake, tell yourself it needs to be done, and just get through it. The second thing is the difference that being self-employed and doing something worthwhile makes to your life. When you're actively following something that you're passionate about, something that really matters to you, in my case, it was fitness and helping people achieve their goals. When you're dedicated to what you're doing, it does make your life feel a lot more worthwhile. For me, I felt like I was stuck in the rat race, stuck in the grind of the 9 to 5, and I really hated that because I felt like I wasn't doing anything really useful in the grand scheme of things. And don't get me wrong, by being a personal trainer, it's not like I'm curing world hunger, but I am making a difference to other people's lives and I'm seeing the impact that my help can have on them in their future. And for me, that made all the difference. It makes you feel so much more passionate and so much more motivated and driven to make your career and your business a success when you know that it's actually worth something and it's making a difference. Now, the third thing, I'm pretty sure that you may have guessed it because it's quite commonly known. It's not exactly a secret, but nothing quite prepares you for the financial stress that comes with self-employment. When I was working full-time, I took it for granted. At the end of the month, I knew how much money I was getting, I knew what date I was getting it, and there was just no money stress at all. Being self-employed changed that completely because from month to month, you don't know what's happening. Some months may be amazing. You could pick up multiple new clients, and then the next month, you could lose multiple clients, and there's no consistency in terms of how much money you're going to earn. I think for me that was the hardest thing to get to grips with, because in my nature I'm not really a risky person. Even though I quit my job to become self-employed, I wouldn't describe myself as a risk taker. So for me, going from month to month, not knowing how much money I was going to get paid, not knowing if I was going to have enough money to cover my rent and my bills, that did cause me a lot of stress. And I think even now, I've been self-employed for a few years now, and it never really goes away. That stress is always still there. But the good thing is you can use that stress as a motivator, because ultimately you need food, you need to pay rent, you need to pay your mortgage and the bills, etc. So that stress encourages you to do the work that needs to be done. When you're at a standard 9-to-5 job, if you want a bit of a rest day and you want to chill and you can't be bothered and you just want to sit back for a week and not do anything, it doesn't really matter, because ultimately you're still going to get paid. Whereas when you're self-employed, if you sit back for a week and don't do anything, then you're potentially putting your business at risk and you're potentially looking at earning a lot less this month. It can be made even more stressful by just wanting to take some time off. If I want to take time off, it is a bit stressy, because you're not just booking days of annual leave and getting the same salary at the end of the month. When you're self-employed, time is money. So when you take time off, you do risk losing some money. So it's all about planning and trying to be as savvy as you can with budgets, with costs. There will be months where you do need to tighten your belt, and there'll be months where you actually have a fantastic month and you're able to save quite a bit or treat yourself to a few nice things. It will balance out ultimately, but dealing with that financial stress is probably one of the hardest things that I had to do when I became self-employed, and it's still probably one of the hardest things I have to do now. There is no magic answer at all. There is no magic answer about how to overcome the financial stress. It will be there until your business starts to become super, super successful that you don't have to worry about it anymore, or until you just find a way to deal with it. If you have a good month, save. If you have a bad month, you can then rely on those savings. And ultimately, it's just trusting yourself to be able to make your business work and putting in the work that you need to in order to make it happen. The fourth thing that nobody told me about self-employment is how free you will feel. It honestly feels amazing to be in control of your own business, of your own life, of your own time. I realised pretty early doors in my career that I have a bit of an authority complex. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told what my priorities should be. I don't like being told how to organise my time. I like to have that control over my own life. And that's what makes self-employment so amazing for me. It's that freedom of being able to choose when I do things. If I want to do this bit of admin at that time, I can. If I want to prioritise this task above that one, I can. I can choose when I get time off. I don't have to ask someone else's approval to have a few days holiday. I have the freedom to steer my business in the direction that I want and not be at the mercy of senior managers or directors or owners in terms of what they want to do. However, with great freedom comes great responsibility. You need to know how to manage that freedom, because at first it can be overwhelming. You've got all this time and so much that you need to do. And if you don't have the precision to manage that time, it can actually probably be more of a negative thing. But obviously, if you're even thinking about becoming self-employed, you need to know that you're the sort of person who can manage their own business and can do all of the admin and can keep on top of all of the daily tasks. Because if you can't, it's probably not going to work for you. And you need to realise that there will be ups and downs. It's not going to be smooth sailing. There will be times of uncertainty. There will be so many times that you question if you did the right thing. If I had £1 for every time that I had thought, have I done the right thing by quitting my job? Should I have just stayed at a desk and been miserable? Would it have been easier than going through all this stress and worry? I would probably have enough money to retire by now, because it would have been a very, very, very high number of times. But I don't regret my decision at all. Being self-employed was probably the best decision that I ever made. But it doesn't come without its risks, as does anything. If you have faith in your business, if you have faith in your idea, and faith in yourself to actually make it work and make it a success, then there's no reason why you can't do it. If I myself, as a self-confessed non-risk taker, can risk it and set up my own business and make it work years later, then I'm sure it's something that you can do as well. It's also incredibly adult to have your own business. It makes me feel very adult, although sometimes it feels like I am that little boss baby in charge of something when I still feel like a child myself. Anyway, that was a little glimpse into life as a self-employed person. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you're self-employed, if you're thinking about becoming self-employed, let me know where your head's at. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys soon.